Greetings, and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It's the end of another night shift week right here. It's the night where we do the thing we call Marlon's favorite night shift show. It's Real Talk Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio, those who are tuned into the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew on the affiliate stations by way of TuneIn, those tuned into PEMGTV.com, and of course those right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. Welcome. I couldn't do it without you, and believe me, I wouldn't try. You have my word, I wouldn't try. Listen, tonight we're in for a treat. Well, we're in for a treat every night. But tonight, because we're here, it's a special treat. Kicking it up with some new music from Caramanti. It's called Eyes Open Up.
Eyes open up, I'm waking up, life me not give up.
From her upcoming album, Hurt People.
You can't fail if you try no way. Let God be your guide all day. Give your all every time I say. Just know you are no penny nobody. Right now while you have this today. Go all out and don't go halfway. You can't win, that is all I say. Just know you are no penny nobody. So when you're meditating, I got money good life you're penetrating. You want go speak straight, elevating. Go hard right now, no waiting. The question is what you do today, king. You can't cheat life, that I no debating. You have to put in the work, forget the great things. All night, all day, till you see the scrapings. Ching. You can't fail if you try no way. Let God be your guide all day. Give your all every time I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. Right now while you have this today. Go all out and don't go halfway. You can't win, that is all I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. Me beg your overs on the talk. Me no mean you fi work hard. When me mean is your fi smart master. Cause some who know about what. Now see ma who know yard. Always pan guard, no sir. You fi include the master. Overstand say that a the forecaster. Get balance with God in the center. So everything you want you will get that faster. You can't fail if you try no way. Let God be your guide all day. Give your all every time I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. Right now while you have this today. Go all out and don't go halfway. You can't win, that is all I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. You can't fail if you try no way. Let God be your guide all day. Give your all every time I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. Right now while you have this today. Go all out and don't go halfway. You can't win, that is all I say. Just do you want no penny nobody. I'm waking up. It got me trust.
I want to say thank you to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. When being in the moment is priceless, Pulse Media is there for you. Just give them a call, 754-999-6020, or visit them at pulseemg.com. They can let what you see right here on kevinstew.com be a reality for you. They can capture your moments. They can give you the opportunity to stream your moments live on a secure platform. Just give them a call, give them a link, and mention the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
Let God be your guide all day. Give your all every time I say. Just do one up and nobody. Right now while you have this today. Go all out and don't go halfway. You can't win, that is all I say. Just do one up and nobody.
you can win. Just don't penny anybody. Because it's all in you. Trust and believe. New music from Caramanti, Eyes Open Up. That's the title of the track from her upcoming album, Hurt People. So, yeah, I've heard a couple of tracks off of this. I have another one from her. I'm waiting to get the full album because Caramanti always comes hard and always comes good. And there it is again, the message in the music. Well, it's real talk time. And this is the culmination of the week, the night shift week, when you get down to real talk. And tonight we're looking at persuasion and manipulation. Now, these two things, these two words are very closely related. The concepts are closely related. And a lot of times, the lines of demarcation are quite blurred. By reviewing the definitions of the words, we may be able to better understand when we're crossing that line, the line between persuasion and manipulation. Now, according to Merriam-Webster, persuasion is the act of causing people to do or believe something. That's persuasion. We persuade people every day, and we can see that there is clearly a self-interest in the effort. You need to get someone to change from the beliefs they held, beliefs that in some way served them, to a viewpoint that will serve your worldview. Persuasion is not evil. It's just one of the many ways that we interact with those around us. Maybe you are coming at it from an altruistic mindset. You want to see the world become a better place. Maybe you just want to make a profit. Making money is not evil or immoral in itself. But the person you're trying to persuade is looking to keep their money or maintain their own worldview. You have to convince them that they should part with whatever it is that they have, whether it be a viewpoint or cash. Manipulation is defined as action to change by artful or unfair means so as to serve one's purpose. The self-interest is unmistakable when you take this position. You want what you want no matter what. If there's any belief to the person being manipulated, that's only a byproduct of the main intent of the manipulator. Author and podcaster Jonathan Fields says the difference between persuasion and manipulation comes down to three things. Count them with me. The intent behind your desire to persuade that person. The truthfulness and transparency of the process. And the net benefit or impact on that person. Robin Dreek, head of behavioral analysis for the FBI, agrees on the importance of the intent of the person attempting the persuasion or manipulation. He says that influence causes people to feel better from having met you, while manipulation causes buyer's remorse the second the conversation is over. That sounds kind of rough, doesn't it? We should always be conscious of whether we are being persuasive or manipulative. But these concepts are especially important in today's environment when trust is one of those things that come at a premium. Consumer psychologist Kit Yarrow points out that we are vulnerable to manipulation for a number of reasons. Some of those reasons have to do with how effective some people have become at the practice of manipulating. But there are factors that have to do more with the audience as well. Information overload is becoming a major issue as we take in many more messages on a daily basis. So, oversimplification is increasingly appealing. Think about politics over the past several years. Think about how our news gathering has shifted to social media instead of the stations of news from years gone by. Watch, we catch slogans, we catch memes and simplified takes on complex issues. See how manipulation can enter the picture? Yarrow goes on to specify that anxiety, caused in part by those increased messages, also makes us more eager to grasp at promised solutions, even if they are not what will be most helpful. Now, all this is put out to help frame the work of Scott De Marchi and James T. Hamilton for their book You Are What You Choose, the habits of mind that really determine how we make decisions. They specifically set out to test a way of identifying and predicting behavior patterns by having participants complete a rather extensive test. The authors called the various aspects that the test measured as a person's traits. And in this case, traits is an acronym, and it stands for time, ready to reap a reward now versus in the future. Excuse me. Risk, willing to take chances or play it safe. Altruism, willing to help others or not. Information, always up to date on the news or out of touch. Two, being also, as in me too, being concerned with what others think or independent. So they were reaching to fit that one in. And stickiness, loyal or more willing to change. So those are the pieces that put together to make traits. Time, risk, altruism, information, me too, and stickiness. By understanding these various aspects of the desired in audience, those in power, manufacturers, politicians, anybody that you would consider influential, could start to understand people's preferences on a number of matters. One of the examples from the book showed how insurance companies would want folks with a lower risk tolerance. Now, conversely, thrill seekers weren't worth the likely claims that insurance would have to pay out. While understanding how people are predisposed to make decisions, the real question becomes, how can we trust those armed with this information to behave? If salespeople and consumer support personnel were to begin applying these ideas on a case-by-case level, they could find ways to serve their community more effectively than ever before. But they could use that same information to manipulate their audience into decisions that are less advantageous for the consumer. The manipulation would work for a while until the dissatisfied voices got too loud to ignore. The same goes for parenting. Do you want to give your children instruction in a method that will draw upon their predispositions for the sake of helping them learn, or for the purpose of getting your way? You can pretty much apply that to anything, can't you? Not just parenthood. The question is more cut and dry when posed this way. But, when you're tired and not ready for the effort of actually teaching children something, the getting my way option, that one is a whole lot more appealing than anything else. Because you want what you want, and that is what you're going for. And the sooner you get it, the better off you are. Now, as a marketer and someone who seeks to ethically influence others, one would have to consider, what is my role in this process of persuasion? After all, marketers and salespeople are some of the ones most criticized for taking advantage of people with various tricks, right? There's a way that Dr. Peter Myers approached marketing's role. He broke it down into 5 scenarios. Simple alignment, being simply facilitating what the customer already wants. Simple choice, choosing the color of the product that the consumer or customer has identified as the solution. Competitive choice, presenting more than one seller or brand for the customer. Unknown desire, creating a new desire in the customer. Here's a good example of that one. The iPhone. Right. See how that goes, right? You see that every day. And altered decision, changing the customer's mind on the thing he or she was going to buy. Now, the first few scenarios are pretty easy in regards to evaluating motivation behind the seller. It is straightforward delivery of what the customer wanted. The last 3, the 3, 4, and 5, those are a little bit tricky. Looking back at the traits, the acronym that we mentioned earlier, it's easy to see how a marketer could manipulate a buyer in each of those 3 scenarios. Consider the marketer or the salesperson putting a false time constraint on an offer just to get customers to buy now. Or think about something inflating the number of subscribers or customers to make you feel like you're missing out on a product or service. And it still comes back to intent. Are we creating buyer's remorse? Are we pressuring consumers and customers where there's no need to? Or are we looking out for the customer? One could argue that a marketer or salesperson could help a customer find the right product for them by appealing to the various traits in order to help the customer clarify their needs. Now, behavioral analyst Robin Dreeke advises marketers to do everything possible to make the customer's situation better. It's all about offering choice. Human beings do not like being told what to do, and they want to be offered choices, and you're just going to offer them some choices about how they want to proceed. As Don Miller points out in his story brand materials, it's helpful to be clear with consequences and not embracing the recommendation that the marketer or salesperson is making, as long as it is not too heavy-handed. Lying about the situation that a person may continue to be frustrated by facing a particular problem that your product can solve is much different from making the person feel as if they are a complete fool if they choose not to buy your product. End result may be the same, but again, it's the intent. Offering a choice still means that the audience may not choose what we hope they will, but that is how it goes when offering the best for the other person. You offer to help, but you never force your situation. You never force your solution. Whatever it is that you're pitching doesn't become the savior, the end all and be all. And that is where manipulation comes into play. That is where the line is. And again, that doesn't really give you clear definitions or give you a clear line, but you should be able to see some of the differences here. Is if you're the customer, is your interest what is being placed first, or is it the profit that the seller, the marketer, the manufacturer, the business is their bottom line? Is that all that matters? Their profit. And that is the difference between looking at manipulation and persuasion. Somebody, I posted about tonight's show, and I used the image of a cathedral, and somebody went, "A church? Stu, really?" But think about it. Isn't that one of the places where you encounter manipulation and persuasion? You're still dealing with people. And depending on how authentic that person is in the clergy, that is what you're being faced with. Manipulation or persuasion. You're being influenced to take a certain position. The question is that influencing being done because the collection plate has to be passed, and that is how the pastor gets his cut, or because they truly believe that you stand to benefit? Now, it's a little bit different when it comes to church, because how do you really know you have benefited when the end result is pretty much where you go after you die, and nobody has said what that end result has been for them? Yeah, one of those. Wow, is it raining? We're gonna take a quick little break. Welcome to those in the stew pot. I do want to encourage you guys to jump on into the stew pot. It is where we keep things bubbling. For those of you who don't know what the stew pot is, you go to kevinstew.com. Others call it a chat room, but because we're fancy over here, we call it the stew pot. I want to say big ups to reggae music edutainer extraordinaire, host of Real Rockers, Mr. Marlon Burrell. Big ups to you, Marlon. Welcome to the show. It's Marlon's favorite show, ladies and gentlemen, Real Talk. And that happens right here. Well, Marlon's favorite night shift show, not his favorite show. Let me not put things incorrectly. Marlon's favorite night shift show, Real Talk. And welcome #happy to the pot. good evening to you too. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll talk some more. Go out, call a friend, tell a friend, share it, and also you can call and participate in the discussion. 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text if you're overseas and can't call, and you can't really jump onto kevinstew.com right now, but you still want to say something, use Skype. Kevin.stew gets you in touch. I get the messages. Just send on. All right? We'll be right back in just a few.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
Are you crazy about the music industry? You aspire to hit it big in music? Or maybe you've sweated out a soulful killer beat and are now stuck finding it's not as easy as it looked. Oh, but it can be easy for you with JTMC. We've been there, we know how it feels, so we solve challenges like production, promotion, marketing, branding and development, and more. With over 30 years of experience, JTMC is a one-stop shop for artists. We handle your graphic design, writing services, PR, as well as event planning, e-blasts, artist management, and bookings, so also your website and social media needs as well. We're experts in using creativity to persuade audiences on behalf of artists, drawing on our diverse experience to create projects that connect with audiences intellectually and emotionally. Artist success is everything to us, and our years of experience and commitment will be behind you for every one of your needs. If you've got music for the world to hear, whether you're a new or established artist, visit us at jtmcenterprise.com.
MJ Media Group, in association with PS Youth Outreach Center, presents the MJ Media Group Workshop Series. Each month, we bring you information from local professionals on business, finance, technology, health, personal development, and more. Check out the amazing lineup. The first session takes place on Saturday, August 31st, 2019, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Lauderhill Central Park Library, 3810 Northwest 11th Place, Lauderhill. These are free events, by the community, for the community. Refreshments will be provided, and prizes will be given away. Bring your business cards for networking opportunities, so make your reservations now. For more information and sponsorship options, contact Melissa Jane on 954-279-3893.
Retro Movement Marketing presents Where It's At.
Where It's At.
The biggest 70s dress theme party in South Florida. Where It's At.
Where It's At.
The annual 70s theme reunion.
Where it's at, baby.
Party starts starts from 8 p.m. until 3 a.m. Saturday, August 24th at Sawgrass Inn, 1711 North University Drive in Plantation. With music by The Veteran, Jam Wayne from New York City, Mark Swaby from Florida, and hosted by Mr. Flavors.
I am Mr. Flavors, inviting you to the big dance party where it's at.
Come do the line dance with the Icon Maxi Class. Dress code is 70s style with a $500 cash prize for the best costume. Bellfoot pads, big color shirts, hats, afros, and more. Saturday, August 24th at the Sawgrass Inn, Plantation. Pre-sold tickets are $25. Purchase tickets in Miramar at Sam's West Indian Store. In Miami at Kingston Delight. And Tropical Oasis. In Fort Lauderdale at Rainbow Variety Store. And Mama's Kitchen. In Coral Springs at Reggae and Things. And in West Palm Beach at Caribbean Choice Restaurant. For more info, call 786-295-3619.
Where is that, baby?
I want to take this opportunity to mention an event coming up tomorrow evening in South Florida. It's called Massages and Self-Care, and this is from 7 to 9 p.m. courtesy of SW Social Support, and it's happening at Blue Bliss Spa. Try to say that 3 times fast. Blue Bliss Spa, 9 to 9:30 Northwest 6th Court in Pembroke Pines in Florida. That's 333025 zip code. It's a night filled with fun and a self-care seminar, massages, networking, giveaways, and more. The tickets are $40 and they can be purchased at JessJefferson.com, JESS Jefferson.com. So you definitely want to check that out. And this Saturday, you don't want to miss it. Coal Fire Caribbean Brunch. This happens from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 410 North Andrews Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. You have bottomless passion fruit, Caribbean twist mimosas, and Caribbean style buffet done the coal fire way. And tickets are available at Eventbrite. You don't want to miss this. The last one was just spectacular. Trust me, the food was so good. I'm just looking forward to it right now. One more thing I want to mention before we get back into our discussion tonight. Jillian J, courtesy of Jillian J, this month's featured piece. It's the Black, Green, and Gold Jamaican Independence feature. That's what we're calling it. But these pieces, the earrings, necklace, and bracelets, they can be worn individually or mixed and matched. It's black, green, and gold. Well, the earrings, you can separate them, but and the bracelets, you can do them individual colors. The necklaces, you can do individual colors. So give Jillian J a call. Give Julian a call. It's 954-281-2587, or go to jillianj.com or email jmarie@jillian-j.com. That's GILLIAN-j.com. And I want to quickly mention our sponsor for this segment of the show, Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Thank you, Althea, for sponsoring this segment of the show. Althea is a licensed massage therapist, and she comes to you if you're in Broad County, North Miami-Dade, South Palm Beach County. Just give her a call, 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. Althea will come to you. You can also email her at thealater@att.net. The track is called Ready Up. Vonnie working out with Aram. – 23 minutes to the top of the hour.
So for sure it's the motive. Boy, tell me where you going. I'm coming up, only if you're ready up, huh? Don't you go so coming up. Boy, show me that you're ready up, ready up. I see the way you're looking at me. Can't control how you want up on me. Something to do with how I move to the bed. We'll be home till 3. But you know that I live with you. But look what you made me do. Said I'd be on after 2, but it's 5 and I'm still in with you. Oh yeah, I ain't been on going nowhere. Oh yeah, hold me tight, 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 know that I'ma be right here. Hold me through to the night, and if it feels right to me, so for sure it's the motive. Boy, tell me where you going. I'm coming up, only if you're ready up, ready up. Don't you go, show. I'm coming up, show me that you're ready up, ready up. Wherever you going, you're telling me come sure. Got me hit till the morning, don't know what I should do. Guess who's calling me baby? You seem so into that lady. You want me like you say you do. You can tell I'm feeling you too. But I can forward into the spot until you're ready up. A real bad girl need a real good man. Them now go just at them bout the accent, man. The last one never go show. So come here, boy, come here now. So for sure it's the motive. Boy, tell me where you going. I'm coming up, only if you're ready up, ready up. Don't you go, show. I'm coming up, boy, show me that you're ready up, ready up. Real bad girl.
Vanna says she had a real badness. So it's the question tonight is it manipulation or is it persuasion? And I want to welcome you back to the show. Well, the speaking part of the show. Why do we need to differentiate between the two? What's the big deal? Really and truly, the understanding of the difference. And I guess this is the stressing point for the evening, for the night, for the morning, for the day, wherever you are in the world. It all comes down to intent. Calling someone manipulative is a criticism of that person's character. Saying that you have been manipulated is a complaint about having been treated badly. Manipulation is dodgy at best, and downright immoral at worst. But why? What's wrong with manipulation? Human beings influence each other all the time and in all sorts of ways. But what sets manipulation apart from other influences and what makes it immoral? We constantly are subjected to attempts at manipulation. Constantly. And it comes in many forms. You have gaslighting, which involves encouraging someone to doubt their own judgment and rely on the manipulator's advice instead. Guilt trips make someone feel excessively guilty about failing to do what the manipulator wants them to do. Charm, offensives, and peer pressure influence someone to care so much about the manipulator's approval that they will do as the manipulator wishes. Advertising manipulates when it encourages the audience to form untrue beliefs, as when we're told to believe that fried chicken is a health food, or faulty association, as when Marlboro cigarettes are tied to the rugged vigor of the Marlboro Man. Phishing and other scams manipulate their victims through a combination of deception, from outright lies to spoofed phone numbers or URLs, and playing on emotions such as greed, fear, or sympathy. Then there is more straightforward manipulation, perhaps the most famous example of which is when Iago manipulates Othello to create suspicion about Desdemona's fidelity, playing on his insecurities to make him jealous and working him up into a rage that leads Othello to murder his beloved. All these examples of manipulation share a sense of immorality. What is it that they all have in common? Perhaps manipulation is wrong because it harms the person being manipulated. Certainly, manipulation often harms. Certainly. It is, if successful, manipulative cigarette ads contribute to disease and death. Manipulative phishing and other scams facilitate identity theft and other forms of fraud. Manipulative social tactics can support abusive or unhealthy relationships. Political manipulation can cause or foment division and weaken democracy. But manipulation is not always harmful. Suppose that Amy just left an abusive yet faithful partner. But in a moment of weakness, she is tempted to go back to him. Now imagine that Amy's friends employ the same techniques that Iago used on Othello. They manipulate Amy into falsely believing and being outraged that her ex-partner was not only abusive but unfaithful as well. If this manipulation prevents Amy from reconciling, she might be better off than she would have been had her friends not manipulated her. Yet, to many, it could still be morally dodgy. Intuitively, it would have been morally better for her friends to employ non-manipulative means to help Amy avoid backsliding. Something remains morally dubious about manipulation, even when it helps rather than harms the person being manipulated. So, harm cannot be the reason that manipulation is wrong. Perhaps manipulation is wrong because it involves techniques that are inherently immoral ways to treat other human beings. Maybe onto something here. This thought might be especially appealing to those inspired by Immanuel Kant's idea that morality requires us to treat each other as rational beings rather than just mere objects. Perhaps the only proper way to influence the behavior of other rational beings is by rational persuasion. And thus, any form of influence other than rational persuasion is morally improper. But for all its appeal, this answer also falls short. For it would condemn many forms of influence that are morally benign. For example, much of Iago's manipulation involves appealing to Othello's emotions. But emotional appeals are not always manipulative. Moral persuasion often appeals to empathy or attempts to convey how it would feel to have others doing what you want or what you are doing to them. Similarly, getting someone to fear something that is really dangerous, to feel guilty about something that is really immoral, or to feel reasonable, or a reasonable level of confidence in one's actual abilities, that doesn't seem like manipulation, does it? Even invitations to doubt one's own judgment might not be manipulative in situations where perhaps due to intoxication or strong emotions, there really is good reason to do so. Not every form of non-rational influence seems to be manipulative. So we go back and we think some more. Because it appears then that whether an influence is manipulative depends on how it is being used. Iago's actions are manipulative and wrong because they are intended to get Othello to think and feel the wrong things. Iago knows that Othello has no reason to be jealous, but he gets Othello to feel jealous anyway. This is the emotional analog to the deception that Iago also practices when he arranges matters. Example, the dropped handkerchief. Now, if you haven't read Othello or watched the movie, now is probably the time that you want to do so. The dropped handkerchief was to trick Othello into forming beliefs that Iago knows are false. Manipulative gaslighting occurs when the manipulator tricks another into distrusting what the manipulator recognizes to be sound judgment. By contrast, advising an angry friend to avoid making snap judgments before cooling off is not acting manipulatively. If you know that your friend's judgment really is temporarily unsound. When a conman tries to get you to feel empathy for a non-existent Nigerian prince, he acts manipulatively because he knows that it would be a mistake to feel empathy for someone who does not exist. Yet a sincere appeal to empathy for real people suffering undeserved misery is moral persuasion rather than manipulation. When an abusive partner tries to make you feel guilty for suspecting them of the infidelity that they had committed, then they're acting manipulatively because they're trying to induce misplaced guilt. But when a friend makes you feel an appropriate amount of guilt over having deserted them in their hour of need, this does not seem manipulative. So, what makes an influence manipulative and what makes it wrong are the same thing. The manipulator attempts to get someone to adopt what the manipulator themselves regards as an inappropriate belief, emotion, or other mental state. Now, in this way, manipulation resembles lying. What makes a statement a lie and what makes it morally wrong are pretty much the same thing. That the speaker tries to get someone to adopt what the speaker themselves regard as a false belief. The liar tries to get you to adopt a false belief. Now, the manipulator might do that, but they might also try to get you to feel an inappropriate or inappropriately strong or weak emotion. Attribute too much importance to the wrong things. For example, someone else's approval, or to doubt something like your own judgment of your beloved, of their fidelity. Now, and that there is no good reason to doubt these things. So the distinction between manipulation and non-manipulative influence depends on whether the influencer is trying to get someone to make some sort of mistake in what they think, feel, or their doubts, or what they pay attention to. Now, it is endemic to the human condition that we influence each other in all sorts of ways, besides pure, rational persuasion. Sometimes these influences improve the other person's decision-making situation by leading them to believe, doubt, feel, or pay attention to the right things. Sometimes they degrade decision-making by leading them to believe... Oh, I said that already. But manipulation involves deliberately using such influences to hamper a person's ability to make the right decision. That is essentially immorality of manipulation. Now, this way of thinking about manipulation tells us something about how to recognize it. It is tempting to think that manipulation is a kind of influence. But as we have all seen, kinds of influences that can be used to manipulate can also be used non-manipulatively. What really matters in identifying manipulation is not what kind of influence is being used, but whether the influence that is being used to put the other person into a better or worse position to make a decision. Again, the intent. So, if we are to recognize manipulation, we must look not at the form of influence, but at the intention of the person using it. For it is the intention to degrade another person's decision-making situation that is both the essence and the essential immorality of manipulation. So, with that in mind, what is it that you think you find yourself doing when you're associating with your friends, when you're dealing with your children, when you're working with subordinates, or even co-workers? When you're interacting with people on a whole, and you find yourself in a position to influence a decision, are you manipulating or are you persuading? Because it all boils down to not you, the person who has the perceived power, but the person who has a decision to make. If your focus is on you, then I would say 9 out of 10 times you're being manipulative. If the focus is on the other person and how their decision could possibly benefit them, how it would help them, that is persuasion. Because you're giving that person the opportunity to choose. You're not letting them choose and have buyer's remorse. So you're not presenting something falsely. I guess in both cases you get to have someone choose. But only in one case it is that you're not providing false information for them to use to choose. So when it comes to those who are in the business of selling, those who have customers, it is advisable to not confuse persuasion and manipulation, because the customers, they're not going to like it. And we're going to look at some of the reasons why they probably won't like it when we come back from this quick break. So, I would like to encourage you guys to stick around. I'd like to encourage you guys to jump into the stew pot. I'd like to encourage you to call in or text in wherever you can. I'd like to encourage you to actively participate. I'm not trying to manipulate you to do it. It would be great because your feedback would be greatly appreciated. You have something to say. You have a viewpoint. Whether you agree or you don't. It's a judgment-free zone. And you have the opportunity to share your view. Go ahead, use it. We'll only benefit from it. See? Not manipulating. Persuading. We'll be back after these few messages. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy P, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm, Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
It's Christina representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's Chew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's Chew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's Chew, believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christina. It's a heart it up, loud. The beast.
I can tell that you love me by the way you're looking at me. Girl, the feeling is mutual, 'cause I love you the same way, and I love you so much. to show you, but I give you pleasure, searching for your treasure. I could be you, I could be you, everything you want. I could be you, I could be you.
The sound of Enzo. A track called Come Over.
Treat you right. Just tell me yes, tell me yeah. I'll be all you want. Girl, just come on over, spend the night. It'll be the best.
So is he being influential, or is he being, as in, well, is he being persuasive?
Let me be.
Or is he being manipulative?
I can give you pleasure. I can give you pleasure. I will be your savior. I can be your preacher. I'll forgive your sins. I'll forgive your everything. Baby girl,
Can he do all of those things?
wanna be your lover. Got some things to show.
If she comes over, is all those things going to actually happen?
But I'll give you pleasure.
I want to say thanks to JTMC Enterprise for sponsoring this segment of the show. JTMC will take care of your needs as it relates to your entertainment needs, your tour management, your bookings, your promotions, your event management, your social media needs. Just get them a link. 678-793-8800, or visit them at jtmcenterprise.com and say, hey, I heard about you on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Hey Julian, welcome to you. Happy hump day night to you. Okay, so nice of you to jump on in at this time. Welcome to the pot. The whole buzz surrounding Cambridge Analytica and its alleged misuse of personal Facebook profile data has created headlines around the world. Well, it had created headlines around the world, and many would remember that. The data analysis firm is accused, or was accused, of having exploited Facebook's loose regulations and minimal oversight to harvest massive amounts of user data to firstly understand what messages people were susceptible to then use that insight to influence people's opinions and voting behavior, feeding them all kinds of political propaganda and the proverbial fake news from people they trusted. Not that that has stopped. It still goes on today. It highlights that there's a fine line between persuasion and manipulation when it comes to using human behavioral science to influence their behavior. Now, those that study human behavior are, I would say, at an advantage with knowledge of how to actually do this effectively. But the rule, as I would say, is simple. If a company uses behavioral insights to promote their own corporate interests ahead of the customer's actual needs, they are likely to be guilty of manipulation or coercion. But customer relationships that are built on manipulatory practices or processes which always involve a degree of misrepresentation and deception do not go a long way. They only last until customers realize they are being treated with disdain rather than care. Case in point, the public is losing trust in Facebook's ability to protect privacy and democracy. Well, have they already lost it? Think about it. Persuasion, on the other hand, is the art and science of aligning your objectives with those of your audience. That is, by making the buyer journey easier to follow, more fluid, and more importantly, centered around customer needs. It has a lot to do with using behavioral insights to facilitate certain actions versus exploiting emotional and psychological weaknesses of people. Now, both persuasive and manipulative approaches aim to influence people, but the significant difference between the two, explains Natalie Nahai, is the intent. Notice the recurring theme here tonight. Intent. No, not inside the tent. We're not going camping. But the intent, being the intention. What an individual's motives are. Nahai is a best-selling author and renowned web psychologist who uses science-based approaches to help companies increase their reputation, client base, and profit online. During her keynote, The Psychology Behind User Behavior, held at Google's Conversations at Google Conference in Dublin in 2016, Nahai shared some principles to influence behavior and facilitate action while creating a positive win-win feel between consumer and brand, and without crossing over to being manipulative. So we're going to look at some of these points, some of these tips. First being, reduce the cognitive load. As human beings, our capacity to use our brains is generally deemed superior to other animals. However, the part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, that helps us to make decisions is still primarily primed for survival and efficiency. It leads us to wanting to make quick decisions. The brain struggles in situations where it is exposed to too much information during a single moment. Here, we need support. If you want to encourage your customers to convert, you have to lower the amount of mental effort that you are demanding from them to engage with you, whatever the device. And there are 3 steps to decrease consumers' cognitive load. 1, reduce the number of actions to get people from A to B. 2, split complex processes into single steps. 3, minimize visual clutter by chunking design elements together. Some things that do this effectively, Amazon's one-click to buy button is a perfect example of a company simplifying the buying process and removing the transactional pain of paying. During the fundraising campaign of Barack Obama in 2012, developers applied the principle of reducing cognitive load for visitors by optimizing and tweaking the page with larger images, a simpler donation process, and pre-selected payment options. A or B tests showed that these optimizations geared towards simplicity led to an increase in conversion by 49%. Real cool, right? Give less options, give less information, and you're better off. So you give people less things to do. And when you apply that to how, let's say, a Facebook operates, you can see why everybody just uses Facebook for whatever. Companies are also recognizing, or increasingly, all-driven digital advice as a method to optimize decision-making process, using data and behavioral insights to understand intent and reduce the cognitive load for customers. It is one of the most effective ways to guide prospective buyers to the right products based on a deeper understanding of their explicit and implicit needs, their situation, and their context. Now, let's take a pin for a moment. Here is what, or I'm going to use this term loosely, our controllers have been doing. Those who use social media. You notice if you go on your computer, you go on your phone, and you Google something. When you're scrolling through your social media pages, you see that thing pop up multiple times too. You notice that? That's exactly what is happening. You're being presented more and more with these little things. These are little marketing gimmicks, and there are some people who haven't noticed it. And there are some people who notice it more than others, so much so that they have decided to use social media to a bare minimum. In fact, they sign out of it. They keep nothing signed into their phones. And some have even decided, listen, the smartphone thing is making a fool out of me. So they're going to the simplest of phones that they can find that does what a phone is supposed to do. Call and text. Anything else that they want to do, they get on a computer. So that is definitely how you reduce the cognitive load. You make things easier. People, you'd hear me talk about this all the time. I do not broadcast on social media anymore. And yes, it's easier to do because everybody is on social media. But I share the broadcast, or I share a means to get to the broadcast on social media. But when you come to the site, it's easy because there's nothing else that you have to do other than, if you're on a tablet or a phone, you may need to hit the play button on the video display. But outside of that, you need to do nothing else. You're already in the chat. All you have to do is text if you choose to do so. But the show is playing. You just listen or participate the way you choose to participate. Yeah, see? Right, Marlon, you have to adjust your settings accordingly because that is what is done. Another thing is they create an experience of fluency. Messages that we find easiest to process tend to be more persuasive. So if information is visually clear and uses simple language, it is likely to be perceived as more trustworthy than complex information. You know, the complexity is in the simplicity, right? Nahai explains that there are 4 factors to processing fluency. 1, repetition. Statements that are repeated often become easier to understand. It is one of the reasons why repeating calls to action can be effective. Yes, we can. There you go. Structure is 2. If companies use messages that can be learnt easily, consumers are able to process these messages better. It creates familiarity with the brand and makes the tagline more memorable. Have acceptance through enlightenment. Like how I just slipped that in there? Nike, for example, replicated just three-word structure and font of its famous "Just Do It" slogan to make its Find Your Greatness campaign instantly recognizable. You have perceptual design fluency. Well, perceptual fluency or design fluency as their third thing. An interface that is intuitive and easy to understand will give users a pleasurable experience, leading to a likely increase in purchase intent. After initially struggling with conversion, Skinny Ties, the American retro-style tie brand, redesigned its website. The perceptual design fluency in mind. They added more white spaces, high resolution images, and contrasting colors, which resulted in 4% revenue growth, 6% conversion rate increase, 2% bounce rate decrease, and 6% visit duration increase in less than a month. And they showed before and after images of how they did it. Then you have linguistic fluency. If you want consumers to perceive your brand as familiar or get them to follow instructions, word structure is very important. So using short, simple, and easy to pronounce sentences usually result in higher conversion. Things like, let's jump on into the stew pot. Using the right font can also have a huge impact on how users perceive your brand. For example, companies like Jeep and the North Face use clear, high contrast fonts like sans serif that are easier to process and remember. Keep it simple. Third thing, consider hedonic adaptation. People quickly become desensitized to things that have become familiar. When something is new, it is a novelty and creates a high stimulus. But over time, that evolves into boredom. People become accustomed to positive or negative stimulus. Emotional effects of that stimulus are attenuated over time. Nahai explains that there are 4 ways you can address hedonic adaptation to create more compelling offers. 1. Update products frequently. Like every month, there is a featured set or a featured piece from courtesy of Jillian J. Update products frequently. Then change the layout and structure. Find the comfortable space between novelty and familiarity. Alter the user experience is the third thing. And make rewards unpredictable is the fourth thing. The key element of modern, compelling marketing is understanding the principles of psychology and human behavior. Big data and computation have given marketers an accelerator to understanding how and why people think and act the way they do. This helps them get the right message to the right people at the right time. But with great technical power comes great responsibility. If you're unsure about whether you are using persuasion or are guilty of manipulation, all you have to do is ask yourself if you're doing something that you genuinely believe is the best interest of your customers. Or are you convincing them to do something that you're pretty sure is not right for them? As a personal stylist and jewelry designer, as far as I know, Julian will advise you on how to present yourself better so that you can be received better, and as a result, whatever it is that you're presenting, whether it is you're offering your services for a job or in a job application, going for an interview, or you're selling a product, you come across better. That's the basis for that. So as a personal stylist, her job is to make you come across, appear, feel better about yourself. That's persuasion. Now, in the end, persuasion is about strategies and tools. It's about presenting facts, arguments, and interactions in a way that is more likely to get the person on the other side of the conversation to buy into your point of view. Jonathan Fields describes it as it is the underlying intent, the net benefit, and the veracity with which you bring this toolbox to life that creates a difference between persuasion and manipulation. There you have it. Are you going to go forward and be persuasive, or are you going to be manipulative? Both are influential. You're in both cases you're influencing someone or a group of people to do something. The question is, what is it you're influencing them to do? And who does it benefit? And when you look at it that way, then you really start to recognize the difference between being manipulative and being persuasive. And who are you being true to? Are you being authentic all around? Or is it just about turning a profit, benefiting your pocket? Not bashing them. It's a successful campaign, however it was that they did it. But the whole Apple industry thrived on saying that their product is superior. And Steve Jobs has built an empire on that concept. Anything that you see standing out as elite, these name brands, they've pretty much built their businesses on that concept. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's what is done and has been done all along. Now, when we as individuals relating to each other are going to take this and say, all right, here is this person. Here is Marlon, for example. And I want Marlon to buy my upcoming album. And I'm going to say to Marlon, hey Marlon, this album will change your life. It has nothing but positive music on it. It is nothing but influential, and you'll listen to this every day and get up and feeling like you can conquer the world. And there's nothing on this album except different versions of the alphabet. Yeah, the alphabet sung in different ways. Now, the pitch seems good and well, and Marlon would probably buy into it. But when he has already purchased the product, and I say, hey, it's a one-time offer. You toss these things in there to create that sense of urgency, and I say, after this week, there'll be no more. So act quickly and get your limited edition one-time offer It's yours. And Marlon buys into it and gets different versions of the alphabet. Maybe he would like 1 or 2 versions of it. But nothing that I have said in selling that album is true. I have manipulated Marlon into buying my album of alphabet songs. It wasn't persuading him because it was beneficial. It was manipulating him because it's beneficial to me. So it wasn't influencing him because it's beneficial to him. It's influencing him because it's beneficial to me. Difference between manipulation and persuasion. Yeah, that's it right there. So, if you have anything else to add, go ahead. Toss it into the stew pot. Mix it up a little bit. Let it bubble. Let it simmer. If not, hey, it's that time. Time for musical therapy. And we're kicking it off with a little Jack. Jack Radix. True to myself.
She left again. I'm so tired. Too weak to fight. Wouldn't even try. But if the bell rings, I wonder what I'll do. I pick myself up off the floor, kick myself through the door. But if the bell rings, I wonder what I'll do. Will I be true to myself and whisper in her ear, yes? Or will I lie to myself and leave her standing there? Yes, Lord, I'll get myself someone new, rid myself of this misty blue. But then the phone rings, I wonder what I'll do. I ask myself, hey, what's the use? Then I tell myself some silly old excuse. And then the bell rings. Oh Lord, what do I do? Will I be true to myself and whisper in her ear, yes? Or will I lie to myself and leave her standing there? Yeah, oh, Shada, Lada, Mubarade, Sada, I
love it.
I'll treat myself to a brand new car.
I want to say thanks to GMAC Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. GMAC Solutions, GMAC Music Solutions, providing you with musical equipment, DJs, musicians, singers, audio engineers, PA systems, you name it, bringing your event to life. 754-307 GMAC gets you in touch. 754-307-4622. Or visit them at gmacmusicsolutions.com and say, hey, listen,
when I left off,
heard about you on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. What can you really do for me? I'll tell you this. GMAC Music Solutions is providing the equipment for the brunch on Saturday at a coal fire brunch, Caribbean brunch. I know that for a fact. Easy, Jack. This is Xavier Ward. called All I Am. It features Skip Marley. This is the sound of Una Morgan. It's called Evolution.
Didn't know who I was. Being the girl I thought I should be. Put my life on pause. At times I didn't feel.
This features Jadi and Bida Bringlair.
But now I see it's evolution. Ain't no illusion. This evolution. Evolution. Me how do what me have to do. Say what me have to say. Look here what you have to say.
Yeah, the first lady of the Morgan Heritage Clan.
OD, all these little bodies and they know me. Pull up with the glizzy, go OD. All these little bodies and they know me. Rockstar Bon Jovi. Rockstar Bon Jovi.
Hey Marlon, you have this one?
And they know me. Rockstar Bon Jovi. I learned it was chores, don't get lost in emotion. Break through the commotion I do. Shots make you jump up, gon' party till sun up. Like we don't got nothing to lose. All through the come up and working to stun up. I get what I want, yeah I choose. From winter to summer, I keep me my gunner. But haters, they want me to snooze.
This evolution, my evolution, my evolution. This evolution, evolution. I wanna say evolution. Me how do what me have to do, say what me have to say. Okay, what you have to say, say what me want to say. Up we say, up we say, up we say. That just say, up we say, up we say, up we say. That just say. Now it's time for me to be grown. No more time for games, no more time for playing. I will never ever be alone. Gotta make a change, time to rearrange.
It's an evolution. illusion, mind captivation. Feel the vibration, never watch vague. Fun on pollution, Afro evolution with a pun. Every word I'm a weapon. Rise from the ashes with vengeance, sending the blessings every sentence. Feeling my essence in your presence, ayy. Whoa, 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 ayy. Mix the evolution with a pun. Living in illusion through all the confusion. I forgive thanks for the almighty one. Still remain strong in a white man land. Mix the evolution with a pun. It's a evolution with a pun. Mix the evolution with a pun. Okay, no pollution. What we say? What we say?
Let's see if we can evolve from manipulative people to persuasive people. We don't have very far to go.
Evolution, I wanna say evolution. Me how do want me have to do? Say what me have to say. Look here what you have to say. Say what me want to say. Now it's time for me to be grown. Now my time for games. Now my time for playing. I will never ever be alone. Gotta make a change.
You go. People that I got you by my side. Finally got someone that's down the ride. To go and make you mine.
This is Nico Allen working out with Paul Anthony.
It's like you fell right out the skies. Little baby,
one track called You Go Girl.
Your love's like winning a championship. If I rule the world,
it's our musical therapy. Last one for the week. The night shift week, that is.
Don't complain, you're tired. When I ask you to come out, you get up on it. You get freaky in the sheets, but a lady in the street should be knowing how to run up a check. Ignoring them suckers that try to holler on you. If they ask you trolling on mama, they will get blocked. You go. People that I got you by my side. Finally got someone that's down the ride. It's hard to go and make you mine. You go. Like you fell right out the skies. Little baby, one of a kind. Your love like winning the championship. I'm pulling off in a brand new whip. That feeling when them taxes hit. Saddle keys to a brand new crib. Girl, you make me so proud. Early in the morning when you wake up, even way before the makeup, you look flawless, baby. Plus your fashion be on 10, you be setting up them trends. You feel what you plus you loyal, baby. Ignoring them suckers that try to holler from time. If they ask you trolling on mama, they will get blocked. People that I got you by my side. Finally got someone that's down the ride. That's why they gonna let you mine. You go. Like you fell right off the skies. Little baby, one of a kind. Your love like when you in the championship.
If you're full of hotness, me I beg you that she all go. Well, put up in the big girl, you get them on the front line. With your big broad hips and small sexy waistline. Just look on her body, look on her body.
This is Honorable.
She wind up, watch how she wind up. That girl they look good, that girl they look good.
A track called Lots of Love.
Look on her body, look on her body. Watch how she wind up.
17 minutes before we get on out of here.
That girl they look good.
It's musical therapy right here on the night shift.
For the piggy yard, lots of love, lots of love, love in the visual. Lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, love in the piggy yard. Lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, love in the visual. Lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, love. All them a bad mind you, if you show them love, shine brighter than the brightest bulb. Your body tight like the tightest glue, and you think turn up louder than the hypest clubs. No man no one check for them legal. Them like don't pick the ride in a vehicle. If some of them are show it, I one thing you get from the majority of look on her body, look on her body. Watch how she wind up, watch how she wind up. That girl they look good, that girl they look good. Watch how she look at, watch how she look at. Look on her body, look on her body. Watch how she wind up, watch how she wind up. That girl they look good, that girl they look good. Watch how she look at, watch how she act for the piggy yard. Lots and lots and lots of love, lots and love, love in the visual. Lots and lots and lots of love, lots and love in the piggy yard. Lots and lots of love, lots of love, love in the visual. Lots and lots of love, lots of love.
Listen. Well, I met this girl last summer, the prettiest thing, beautiful smile with the prettiest skin.
This is Korik.
Place to vacation. They say my home is a great destination. I said, would you agree to take that vacation with someone like me? I know the perfect place.
This track, let's do it in Jamaica.
Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling. You'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away, and we have summer every day. Trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica. That's where all the fun is, baby. Feel free to get wild and crazy, or just relax and be lazy. Me say whatever you want, whatever you need, it's alright with me. Even if you want to try on the trees, baby. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling. You'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, perfect place to get away, and we have summer every day. Trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica. If you feel like party with me, let me make it real easy. You just need to get up and shake off your troubles and smile with me. Relax for a while with me. Enjoy the island breeze, baby. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling. You'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away, and we have summer every day. Trust me. Reflecting on my life, I'm on a good old day.
This is the sound of Frano. Haven't played this one in a minute. Track called Good Old Days.
My couch reminiscing, thinking about the good old days that we missing. The fun nights that we used to go fishing, then we fry out the catch in the outside kitchen. And we used to go a river, but catch perch and janga, and then we catch a fire, and run a boat with sauce of ground food and flour. We used to wash our clothes and dry them from big stones, and then we swim all day till the eye them when we had wrinkle up like prawns. Yeah, yeah. Reflecting on my life, about the good old days. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's hard, but the simple things in life, they got us to the place. I know money now for you can wipe those memories. We can pray for those days. No money now for you can wipe those memories. We used to play rubber ball cricket, 3 pieces of bamboo stick, make the wicket. Coconut bunker use make it if you LBW the umpire juke it on. I remember how's that? We used to spend our homemade gig them in St. Catherine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The imagery from this track here, boy.
When we used to play,
takes you back.
Clean white sun in an Bay. Yeah, yeah. And I remember Sunday dinner chicken rice and peas, carrot juice done square. Milk and Guinness, yeah, yeah.
It just makes you feel happy.
Sitting in the trays, eating star apple and chilling in the cool Jamaican breeze. Reflecting on my life, I'm thinking about the good old days. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's hard, but the simple things in life, they got us to the place. I know money now, you can wipe those memories. We can pray for those days. No money now, you can wipe those memories. Food tastes better, the air smells fresher, the riches and the pleasures no longer matter. 'Cause you're my treasure, more precious than gold. Girl,
This is Dangling. It's called This Lifetime.
You're like a sweet bedtime story to a little child. Oh, na, na, na. This lifetime won't be enough to give you all this love. I'm feeling inside, it's piling up. One life won't be enough to love you. Bang doom bang ba di di di, bang doom bang ba di di di, bang doom bang ba di di di, yeah yeah. Bang doom bang ba di di di, bang doom bang ba di di di, bang doom bang ba di di di, yeah yeah. Yeah, you set my soul on fire, and I found my heart's desire when I met you. You're like a memory to a prisoner of a better time. You're like a cool shady tree in the summertime when the sun is high. Whoa, na na na. This lifetime won't be enough to give you all this love. But feeling inside, it's spiraling up. One life won't be enough to love you. Yeah, yeah, one on one. I like the way you move, looking at the way you groove. But I don't wanna stand no God to make you feel the way you do. I know what you need to know. I ain't trying to let this go. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I want you, baby. I like the way you move, yeah, yeah.
For those of you who are doing that little sexy thing right now, I like it. Once again, I'm encouraging you to come on out and move with me this Saturday, 10 till 2, 410 North Andrews Avenue, downtown Fort Lauderdale. The first black-owned restaurant in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Pop-up brunch. This is the Anthem Band. That's the title of the track. New music from them. I like it.
For sure, baby. I like the way it flow, darling. Especially how you pause, baby. Doing that for me, oh. Good loving for sure, baby. I like the way it flow, darling. Especially how you pause, baby. Doing that for me, oh. Baby girl, I wanna know the deal. Really don't care if the sign and seal. All I can see is you and me. Baby girl, that's the way it's supposed to be. Tell you the truth, man, I'm gonna tell you no lie. Really wanna slide up between them thighs. I sure do like the way you move. Baby girl, I like the way you move. Sexy thing you do. Oh, oh, oh. I like the way you move. Sexy little thing you do. Oh, oh,
Waking up to my dream. Alright. I can't say it's been this way my whole life.
This is Alexander Starr working out with Echo Slim. Ask for what you want.
Do you see?
7 minutes to the top of the hour. This is how I bounce on out of here. Thank you.
Sip fine wine Cabernet. Private elevator rides to my high-rise getaway. But don't forget about me. Alright.
Just want to take the opportunity to remind you to look out for members of your community. Your community is not just the development that you live in. Your community spreads far and wide. So those people that live next door you and around the corner from you, these are not the only neighbors you have. Your neighbors are all over, especially with the advent of the internet. We're connected. So as we go out, whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, look out for members of your community today, because you never know which one of them is going to look out for you tomorrow.
I just want a little kiss from your butterfly. Land soft like a lullaby. You got curves on a whole new level. Body off your blue check verified. But when you think about me, alright, darling, if you see anything that you like, just ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Just look in my eyes and ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Baby, open your mouth and ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Baby, look in my eyes and ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Don't be shy, speak your mind. Bonjour, mommy. Enchanté. Tell me where your dreams are. I'll take you right away. No time to be shy. Everything's fair play. Baby, if you see anything that you like, just ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Just look in my eyes and ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Baby, open your mouth and ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Just look in my eyes and ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Girl, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Don't be shy. Speak your mind.
This is where we wind it down. We call it quits for another night shift week. Yeah. Bringing it down. Relax, take it easy. A little tune for me. It's called Mr. DJ from the one and only Shauna Dazzle. I'll play it again on Saturday. If y'all come out, you'll hear it. Once again, I want to thank you. This is how I like to do it, to you, for you, with you. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to midnight. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. On Mondays and Wednesdays, right after Real Rockers with Marlon. I was encouraging you, be good. But if you can't be good at it. I can't play it again tonight, but play it again on Saturday. I know you like it. I like it too. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. Until next week, take care. I'm out of here. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.